Your lavender's turning brown in the flower bed, and you're blaming your black thumb. It's not you, it's drowning. The $2 fix that saves it is a bag of grit, not another watering can. And the cut that rescues it hands you a bouquet on the way, but that one's last. Hey, I'm Maggie. No expert, no affiliates. Just a neighbor who killed 3 of these before I figured it out. So before you dig it up and drive to the garden center for another $15 plant, let me show you if yours is actually dead or just sulking. Big difference. Because most of these brown lavenders aren't gone. They're waiting on you to stop doing one thing. Grab a fingernail. We're gonna find out in about 10 seconds. Pick a stem that looks the deadest, grayest, driest, the one you've written off. Scratch the bark back with your thumbnail. Just a little. Green underneath? It's alive. Brown and dry all the way down? That branch is gone, but the plant might not be. Work your way down toward the base. The lower you find green, the more you've got to save. If you've stared at a brown lavender and felt like a plant killer, drop a comment. I want to know I'm not alone. Okay, say you found green. Now the real question, why did it brown out in the first place? Here's the thing nobody told me. Lavender doesn't die from cold. Mine sailed through a hard winter and browned out in June. It drowns, and you can't see it happening because it happens underground, at the roots. This is the #1 lavender killer, and it's not a bug or a frost, it's wet feet. Here's the number that stopped me cold, 4 to 8 hours. That's all it takes. Soil sitting soggy for 4 to 8 hours, and root rot gets a foothold. Not a rainy season, not a bad month. Hours, that's the extension data. Phytophthora root rot, and it moves fast. The plant's built for a dry, rocky hillside. Your rich, damp garden bed is the opposite of home. So the roots sit in water, they can't breathe, they rot, and the top goes brown. You're watching it die from the bottom up. And this next part rewrote everything I thought I knew about winter. Lavender can shrug off 20 below. Genuinely, 20 degrees under zero and it lives. But only if it's dry. Wet roots plus cold kills it. Never the frost, it's the mud around the crown when frost hits. So if yours sits in heavy clay, the clay holds water against the roots all winter. That's the trap. I lost one to exactly this, planted it in the low spot by the downspout because it looked pretty there, brown by July. Which brings me to the mistake I see in every single struggling lavender, including my old ones. Skip this. Piling mulch, bark, wood chips, compost right up against the base of the plant. Everyone does it. It looks tidy. It feels like you're protecting the plant. You're smothering it. Organic mulch against the crown traps moisture exactly where lavender can't stand it. And that's crown rot, straight from the extension guides. Pull it back. Bare a few inches of soil around the stem so the crown can breathe and dry out. Free. Takes a minute. Now the fix I wish I'd known 3 dead plants ago. The grit trick. Instead of mulch, ring the base with a couple inches of gravel, coarse sand, or crushed stone, just around the crown. Stone doesn't hold water like bark does. It drains, it dries fast. It keeps that crown high and dry. The growers who fight root rot in the humid parts of the country say it flat out. Use rock, not organic mulch. A bag of decorative stone or paver sand runs about $2 at the dollar store, $2 against a $15 replacement. One honest catch, because I'd rather you get this right. Lay the stone on top around the plant. Don't dig sand into heavy clay, mixed in. It sets up like concrete and drains worse. Top dressing on the surface, good. Amended down into the clay, that's a myth that backfires. Big difference. And no, gravel doesn't kill the fungus or make the plant bulletproof. It just keeps the crown dry. That's the whole job. Second thing to skip, and this one's counterintuitive. Stop loving it with the watering can. A drowning plant looks thirsty. Droopy, gray, sad. So you water it, and you finish it off. I turned mine around by ignoring it more. Put the can down. Let the soil dry between drinks. That's when it came back. Water the soil at the base, not over the leaves, and only when it's dry 2 knuckles down. Lavender wants a drink, then a drought. Third skip. And it's a July one. Do not feed it, and do not repot it right now in the heat. A stressed plant baking in July can't handle a root disturbance or a shot of fertilizer. You're kicking it while it's down. Lavender actually likes lean, hungry soil. Rich feeding gives you soft, floppy growth and fewer blooms. Leave it be. Like this video if any of this made you walk over and check what your lavender's actually sitting in. Go look. I'll wait. Okay, drainage fixed, crown dry, watering can retired. Now the part with a deadline. There's a window right now, July into early August, that closes on you. Miss it, and next year you're not pruning, you're replacing. Here's why it's so unforgiving, and it comes down to one brutal little rule. Lavender does not grow back from bare, brown, leafless wood. Cut into that old wood and nothing comes back, ever. That's straight from the extension, folks. The old wood is done. It won't push new shoots no matter what you do. So every year you skip the trim, the plant gets a little more woody at the bottom, a little more bare, a little more leggy. Until one day it's a sad brown stick with a fringe of green on top, and no cut can fix it. That's why now matters. The rule for the knife is dead simple. Cut into the green, never into the brown. Right after it flowers, shear the plant back by about 1/3 to half, but stop your blade wherever the green stops. You'll feel it. The soft, silvery green stems give easy. The hard bare wood is a different animal. That's your stop line. Do that every year and the plant stays tight, round, and full instead of splitting open into a woody mess. And on a lot of English lavenders, that trim after the first flush can nudge out a second little wave of bloom come late summer. Free flowers in September, just for picking up your shears in July. That's the trade, so that's the rescue. Drainage, dry crown, gravel, hands off the can, and a trim into the green. Cheap and quick. But there's one move that does 2 jobs at once, and honestly, it's my favorite thing about this whole plant. Save this video before I show you, because you'll want it in your pocket Saturday morning. Trust me. Here's the twist. The cut that saves your lavender is the exact same cut that fills your kitchen with a bouquet. Cutting is the pruning. You're not doing 2 chores, you're doing one and getting flowers for it. Go out in the morning after the dew's dried, before the day gets hot. That's the moment. Cut the flower stalks when just the first little buds on the spike are opening, early, while there's still scent to lose. Morning matters for a real reason. The day's heat cooks the oil out of the flower. That's why the morning cut smells so good. And here's the honest part, because I won't oversell you. The science argues about the exact perfect hour and the exact perfect bud. Some studies say later, some say fuller, so I'm not promising peak oil to the decimal. What I'm promising is this: that morning cut into the green, above the old wood, that's the pruning cut your plant needed anyway. One pass with the shears, the plant gets its rescue trim. Your hands get a bouquet, the bed gets its shape back. Bundle the stems, wrap a bit of twine, hang them upside down somewhere dark. 2 weeks and the whole house smells like summer. My neighbor watched me do it over the fence, went home and cut hers the same afternoon. Now we both trade bunches. And those bunches sell for $4 to $15 each at the market, from a plant you are about to throw in the yard waste bin. That's the whole rescue. The plant you thought you murdered, giving you flowers and second bloom for the price of paying attention. So if you're only going to do one thing this weekend, go scratch a stem and find the green. Then pull the mulch off the crown and ring it in gravel. That $2 fix is the one that actually saves the plant. And when it flowers, cut it in the morning into the green. Prune and bouquet, one move. Everything else, the feeding, the fussing, the panic watering, that's the stuff that was killing it. $2 in grit and a pair of shears against a $15 plant you buy again every single spring. That math finally clicked for me. And a landscaper charges $50, $80 to come plant a replacement for a plant you already own and can bring back free. One more thing, because I can't help myself, those green stems you're trimming off, don't compost all of them. Right now, July into August is prime time to root lavender cuttings, a whole free hedge from the plant you almost lost. I'm testing that next, so if a free lavender hedge sounds like your kind of trouble, stick around. But that's a story for another Saturday. Because here's what I learned. Your lavender was never cursed, and you were never the problem. It was just drowning, waiting on the right cut. Smart dollars, real gardens, verified receipts. The sources are all linked in the description if you want to check my homework. Extension guides, everyone. Now tell me, which aisle should I walk next? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone.